Well, hello guys, it's Chris. From frogs coming back to life after being frozen to lizards that squirt blood out of their eyes, here are 9 bizarre animal adaptations. Number 9. Wood frogs. There is a frog called the wood frog that does something rather odd when the cold season comes around. Despite its name, it does not turn into wood, but something kinda similar, I guess you could say. When the wood frog senses that cold temperatures are coming, its body will instantly freeze over. By freeze over, I do mean that literally. The water from inside its body will begin to freeze, and this new state that it finds itself in is so deceiving that if you were to go and find a wood frog after they'd frozen over, you'd think they were dead. They would have no reaction to you touching them. They would not be breathing, and you would not find a pulse inside of them, which begs the question, how do they get into this state? And the answer is temperature. When it's warm enough to melt them, they return to their regular living state. They can be up and hopping around in a matter of minutes, despite being frozen for several weeks or months, depending on their location. Number 8. Maned wolf. At first glance, the maned wolf that resides in South America looks and sounds like many different things. Its name alone would make you think that it's a wolf, but it's actually not. Its appearance in terms of its body would make you think it's a red fox, but it's not that either. The maned wolf is a unique member of the canid family, which does indeed include wolves and foxes. But this creature is not related to them in full, and they're their own unique species. Just take a look at their legs. As you can see, the legs are much longer than most foxes and wolves out in the wild. Some have even likened these legs to those of grazelings. The reasoning for these legs is a bit unclear. However, the more prevailing theory is that because the maned wolf lives in South America, the creature needed to deal with all the grass that was permeating the area. Thus, through longer legs, it's able to keep its head above the grass, and through that ability, is able to ensure that it can hear predators that are possibly all around it. This can be done through their ears, which also have been adapted to ensure that all sounds reach them, including the subtle scurrying of rats, which are part of its meal most times. Number 7. Okapi. When the okapi was first discovered by European travelers, they thought it to be a unicorn of legend, mainly because they thought it had one horn when actually it has 2. Furthermore, the okapi are rare creatures, and thus haven't been studied too much, but when they were able to get close to them, they were found to have a very special tongue. This tongue of the okapi, which for record is actually related to a giraffe more than it is to a zebra or horse, is actually over a foot long. And just as unique, it's not shaped like a regular tongue. Actually, it's shaped like a tube. This allows the okapi to grasp onto leaves from high trees and then bring them down. It also has the length to be able to lick and clean its own eyeball. Gross! And now for the flying lemur, but first, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest videos. Number 6. Sunda flying lemur. If you've ever heard of the flying squirrel, then you'll have a reference to use when you hear about the Sunda flying lemur. But unlike flying squirrels, who have very furry extensions to their bodies rooted into their arms, the Sunda flying lemur actually has skin flaps that it uses to glide around. Once fully extended, the skin allows the flying lemur to cover an area that's actually 6 times the size of the lemur when the skin is all compressed. And yet, the flap itself is thinner than a millimeter. In terms of its life, the Sunda flying lemur uses this skin to glide around the trees of Southeast Asia. And in fact, it only lives in the tall canopies of the trees in that area. This means that it never touches ground willingly. But that doesn't mean it glides from tree to tree all the time. The hands and feet of the Sunda flying lemur are adapted as well to being very useful to climbing. So it always has a way up or across depending on the need. This creature is also one of the only 2 known species of animal called the kuligo, and the other one is the Philippines flying lemur. Number 5. Kangaroo bat. Not to be confused with the jerboa, which is another animal entirely, the kangaroo rat is a small creature that likes to live in the western parts of North America. Yet they're called this because they have big legs that are bipedal, thus allowing them to hop around like a kangaroo. However, their adaptation is not this, but rather they have the ability to survive without drinking a single drop of water. This adaptation came to be because they like to live in desert areas. And deserts are notorious for only having certain amounts of water to go around. Thus, the kangaroo rat developed a way to engage in desert travel without having to search for water at all. That being said, that doesn't mean that the kangaroo rat doesn't need moisture, as that is actually a vital thing for life to survive. Instead, it gets it from a place that isn't typical: seeds. The kangaroo rats like to eat seeds, and its body has become able to extract all the moisture it needs from said seeds. It should also be noted that despite its size, the kangaroo rat is very agile, able to use its big hind legs to jump 9 feet in the air at times. Number 4. Gerenuk. The gerenuk is a type of antelope, and just like most antelope, they live on the African plain, along with many gazelles and other creatures. However, they don't eat the same way as these other creatures. While antelope and gazelles are good on land in regards to running and jumping, they can't reach the trees. So the gerenuk evolved to give themselves longer necks and skinny legs. This combination might seem odd on first sight, but it allows the gerenuk to stand on its back legs to prop itself up against a tree, then use its neck in order to reach the food it wants to get. So you might wonder, why have such an adaptation? It's because on the African plain, there's a ton of competition. Just in terms of gazelles, there are 91 species that live in Africa. And during dry seasons, it's a bit tough to feed all those mouths. So because of the gerenuk being able to get food that most other creatures of their type can't get to, they're all but guaranteed to get their food. However, there is a small catch to this adaptation. Because the legs of the gerenuk are so skinny, the bones inside them are really fragile, and thus if they stay on their hind legs too much, they'll break. In fact, there have been many cases of this happening to the gerenuks. Number 3. Lyrebird. There is a creature called the lyrebird, named after the musical instrument, and it can be found in Australia. 2 different species of it, actually. It has an adaptation of being able to mimic the sound of just about anything it hears. This particular adaptation happens because the lyrebird has a very complex set of vocal cords. So what does that mean? Well, think about how if you do certain things, you can raise or lower the pitch or tone of your voice. The lyrebird can do that to a level that's honestly not seen in the wild. Their mimicry is so detailed and special that it can mimic the sounds of chainsaws, car engines, barking dogs, and human voices. It also goes to reason that nearby animal calls can also be mimicked by the lyrebird. All of this begs the question, though, what does the lyrebird use this adaptation for? Well, they use it to make unique mating calls for those females they're trying to pursue, of course. Number 2. Irrawaddy. There are many cases of dolphins helping people of the world. More times than not, this has been done as an act of mercy or rescue, as the person is getting attacked by sharks or is in danger of drowning. However, a more commercial use has been found in the dolphin species known as the Irrawaddy. The Irrawaddy primarily live in the waters of Southeast Asia, such as the Bay of Bengal, and for many years they observed the local fishermen capture fish. So one day, they adapted their behavior to actually help them catch fish, in exchange for some of the fish themselves. The dolphins will actually lure in the fish, and then the fishermen release their nets and bring them in. The Irrawaddy are rewarded with fish before the nets are brought in for the fishermen. Believe it or not, no other animal in the wild has adapted this way so that they can benefit off of human behavior in this way, which is actually rather astonishing given how long humans and animals have been around one another. Another believe it or not tale comes from the fact that the Irrawaddy have done this for so long that court cases have popped up about fishermen stealing another fisherman's Irrawaddy. Number 1. Greater short-horned lizard. The greater short-horned lizard is commonly defined as a sit-and-wait predator, as it'll use patience to wait for food to come to it in order to live. But when predators come its way, its adaptation kicks in. This lizard has a way of exerting pressure within its body to actually build up packets of blood. Then, when the predator is close enough, they'll actually squirt the blood it stored up at the predator in question, and it'll squirt it from its eye. This is a very effective defensive tactic for 2 reasons. 1, the sudden action of squirting blood is very likely off-putting, and will make the predator think that there's something very wrong with the lizard. The other reason for this being a deterrent is that the blood itself is very potent in terms of taste. If the lizard is able to project the blood into the foe's mouth, they'll get a really foul taste. It should be noted that very few cases have occurred in regards to the greater short-horned lizard using this blood trick on humans. They seem to be very aware that humans will rarely harm them, and thus will save the trick for predators that truly try to harm them. Thanks for watching. What do you guys think of these bizarre adaptions? Which animal was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you next time.